In that, for fission, we have talked about binary fission and multiple fission. What is the difference between those two? Can you tell me?
Ma'am, difference between?
Difference between binary fission and multiple fission?
In binary fission, the daughter cells divide only into two daughter cells, and
Yes,
multiple divides
correct.
into many.
Oh, correct, correct. So, next we are going to talk about the fragmentation. See here. So, breaking of the fragments, right? And then the growing, right? Break up, then growing of that fragment to complete new organism. That is our fragmentation, and it happens in the algae, that is Spirogyra. Okay, so this fragmentation, it happens.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Safiya. In simple organism, okay, and it occurs only in favorable conditions. Hello, Roshni. Good evening. Now you see here. Okay. Next, regeneration. Here, the body part is cut in any direction. In any direction, then it grows into new individual, like in the planaria. Okay. And what is the difference here in regeneration and in fragmentation? This in regeneration, specialized cells are made. Okay, here specialized cells. Because of this specialized cell, there is growth here. Okay, see in the planaria, even if you cut the head part and the tail part, you get a new individual. And this thing, right, this happens in somewhat not that complex organism, but middle, not simple organism. Okay, like in the lizard also this happens, but in the case of lizard, the tail is only grow. Okay, only in planaria, any part if you cut, it will grow into new individual, and that is how the reproduction happens here. Then the budding. So what is budding? What is bud? It is a outgrowth. Okay, so first thing what happens here is there will be small bud formation. Then that bud formation, it will grow, that bud will grow. Okay, and after that it will develop into new bud, then new hydra will be formed, then it will be cut off from the parent, so new individual will be formed. This is called budding, and it happens in the hydra. Okay, next we have vegetative propagation. Here what happens is we take any parts except the reproductive part, vegetative part, any part like the stem, the root, okay, leaf, all that, and we get from that a new organism will be formed. Like in the case of bud of potato, you can see here, you can see eye, right? Whenever you see potato, there will be black spot in them, right? There after that there will be growth and new potato will be from there. Okay, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and this bulb of onion, and then from leaf, right, leaf, the new individual are forming.
Ma'am,
This is bryophyllum. Yes,
what's a rhizome?
rhizome is modification of stem. Okay, see this. In stems, we have node and internode, right? So here also you can find the internode node. And that rhizome, that stem is our ginger. Okay. Okay. From the stem itself, the new individual will form. Adventitious root, then leaves will be formed. Not from the seed. Mostly all plants will be produced from the seed, right? But here the other parts are helping in the reproduction. That is asexual. Okay, and that process, right, it's called vegetative propagation. Here leaf, from leaf it is forming. Okay, and in dahlia from roots there will be formation of new individual, new plant, dahlia plant. Okay, and there is also artificial vegetative propagation. What is that? Artificial, what is that? In the previous class we have talked about this, right, Roshni, Safiya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me some examples.
Mom, such as when we cut off some of the road at an angle and
Yeah.
then
This artificial, it's like it is not growing by itself, right? We are taking some branches and putting it there. Okay, we are cutting branches, then we are planting, we are mixing two, right? Like this, one part from one plant, the other one from another, and we are joining this. Okay, grafting. Okay, that is vegetative propagation. Okay, and also what do? We also do one more thing. We take jasmine, right? How do we do the artificial vegetative propagation in jasmine? Hmm?
by layering the stem.
Yes, layering. Yes, we take branch and then we put it like this. This is the tree. Suppose this is the shrub, like this. Okay, and one branch we put it here in the soil. Okay, then there will be growth. Then we'll cut out that like this. Okay, new organism will be forming. New jasmine plant will be forming. Okay, that is layering, grafting, layering. All this type of is vegetative, artificial vegetative propagation. Okay. Next, we have tissue culture. And what is that? Yes, we take as a small plant part, okay, from leaves or from stem, anywhere, okay. From there, we take small part and we put it in petri dish, right? And we give that petri dish the optimum condition for growth. We provide the medium like agar, and then we give the nutrition like oxen, right? Then it will grow into plantlet. Then after that, what do? We put it in compost soil. Then it will grow into new plant. Understood?
Yes, mom.
Any doubt here? Hmm?
No, mom.
Okay, next we have spore formation. Okay, what do we have here? This usually happens in the fungi. Okay, there are many spores. Okay, and this is our sporangium. Okay, here there will be many spores and it will burst, and after that all these spores, right, it will spread throughout the air and it will go to the soil. Then from there, from one spore, new individual will come up. So many spores from that, many individuals will be forming. Okay, like that. This is the from spore, the new structure, new individual is forming. That is called spore formation. This is called where the spores are present. That is called sporangium. Right? Hypa. What is hypa? It is thread-like structure. Okay. From spores, the hypa, first hypa will be forming. Then the new fungi will be forming. Okay. Understood? Understood or not?
Yes, mom.
Roshni?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's go for the modes of sexual reproduction. Now, so in sexual reproduction, two things involved, two processes are involved. One is formation of gametes. By how is gametes formed? How is gametes formed? Okay. How is cell formed?
And by cell division.
Cell division. And what are those cell division? Types of cell divisions? What are the types of cell divisions?
Mitosis and meiosis.
Mitosis and meiosis. So your regular cell division, right? It is done by the mitosis. And what about the gametes? How is it formed? For gametes, we have to get haploid, right? So which process will be involved? Mitosis or meiosis? Meiosis, okay? So for gamete formation, meiosis is needed. And after the meiosis, the gametes will be formed, and then there will be fusion of gametes. Okay, and there are two types of gamete, from one from male and one from female. Male gamete and female gamete. Male gamete is formed in human, and egg, ovum in male, in female. Okay, so you can see here there are many types of gametes. Okay, organisms, some organisms may be having same type of gamete, male and female, they are exactly like same. Okay, the morphology it's same, right? that phenotype. They are same. Like in the case of algae, that is cladophora. You can see here it is same. And that type of gamete, it is called isogametes. Okay. And if it is different, then it is called heterogamete. And what about us? Do we have heterogametes or isogametes? Human beings. What about human beings? Do we have heterogametes or isogametes? Isogametes means same type of gametes. Heterogametes is different type of gametes.
And we have heterogametes.
Yes, correct. We have heterogametes. Okay. And this you can see here in the case of alga, that is fucus, we have this is the male gamete and this is the female gamete. And here this is the male gamete and this is the female gamete for humans. Okay. First gamete, this for all organisms, first in sexual reproduction, this gamete will be formed. Okay. Okay. One from the father, one from the mother. Okay. Then after that there will be fusion of the gametes. So in that zygote will be formed. After that zygote will go to the will have many division. After that there will be new individual forming. That fusion of gametes, right? That is called fertilization. Now we are going to learn about the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. That red color one, this is our petal. Okay, this is our petal. See, this is our petal. And this, the green one, the stem, right? The outgrowth of the stem, that is sepal. And here we have ovary, style, stigma. Okay, these three parts, right? They constitute the female part. Okay, that is called pistil. Okay, and this yellow color, right? That is our anther. Okay, anther, and this stick, right? That stick like filament like structure. That is our filament, and that is this anther and filament. It is called stamen, and that is a male part. Okay, and in reproduction, only the stamen and pistil is involved. Okay, yeah, understood?
Can you explain that?
What thing? See, this thing, and this. I'll rub it again. This yellow one, okay, that is anther, and this thing is filament. These two things, right? They constitute male part. Okay, male part, and that is called stamen. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And this three things, stigma, style, ovary. This three things constitute female part, and that together it is called pistil. Okay.
Okay.
And inside this ovary, you see this small thing, this thing, right?
Yes.
That is our ovule. What happens is this ovule, right? It will develop into seed. This ovule will be developing into seed, and this ovary, it will develop into fruit. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, first there should be formation of gametes, right? So this formation of gametes for male, right? The anther, inside anther, there will be formation of male gametes. Okay, there will be formation of male gamete. But the thing is, this anther will be looking like this. Think of this two part like this, simple way. Anther and filament. Okay, here only the pollen grain will be formed. Inside the pollen grain, right? Inside the pollen grain, we have the male gamete. First thing is that this pollen grain, how it will be formed, right? Here inside the anther, there will be pollen sac, and inside this, there will be formation of pollen grain. It will be very, very, very small, tiny, minute pollen grains. Okay. And after this pollen grain is matured, what will happen, right? It will, whenever the pollen grain, right? Inside pollen grain, what is that? We have to take this pollen grain and put it in stigma. How is that possible? There should be some agent involved. This pollen grain, the transfer of pollen to stigma, that process is pollination, and it can be done by many agents. One is abiotic agent or biotic agent. By abiotic agent, I mean by wind. This pollen grain, it could be by the wind, it will go to the stigma, or by water, it can go to the stigma. Okay, or biotic, by the bees, by the birds, bats, all the animals. Okay, if it is going by the wind, it is called anemophily, and if it is going by the water, it is called hydrophily, and all the other thing also I have written. Okay, understood? After this anther, this inside the anther, this pollen grain is matured, right? It has to go to the stigma. Okay, and for going there, right, it needs some agents. It could be by wind, it could be by water, or it could be by animals. Okay, understood till here? And this is our anther. Okay, we have vegetative cell and generative cell. Okay, in vegetative cell, what does it do? It provides nutrition to the generative cell. Generative cells have the male gametes. Okay, understood? This is the inside of the anther. Not anther, I'm sorry, pollen grain. Okay, understood? Next, what will happen? Here the pollen grain is formed. Now here in there should be the formation of ovule also, right? So in the ovule, there will the subsequent division will be happening. Inside that, what will be formed? Female gamete will be formed. Okay, see, this is one ovule. This is one ovule. Okay, here we have the egg, female gamete, and here we have two polar nuclei. Okay, and here we have antipodal cells, and this is the synergids. This is the micropyle. What is the work of micropyle? This we will learn later. Okay, so this is the structure of this ovule or embryo sac. This is called embryo sac. Okay, this is the mature female gamete. Okay, now what will happen here is, after this pollen grain, right, it is matured, then it is by pollination it comes to the stigma. Okay, and what will happen of that? In the pollen grains, there will be formation of pollen tube. Okay, stigma gives the signal like chemotrophism, right? Because of that, pollen tube will be formed, and the pollen tube will go to the ovule. This is the micropyle, is the opening. Okay, the pollen tube will reach the ovule, and the synergids guides them. Okay, and this antipodal cells, what do? They provide nutrition. Okay, and this pollen grains, what do they have? They contain two male gametes, or you can say sperm, and after that they will reach the ovule. It is guided by synergids. Okay, it will reach the ovule, and what will happen here? There are two male gametes, right? One male gamete will fuse with the female, right? Then fertilization will happen, right? Zygote formation. Here the zygote will be formed, and there was one more male gamete, right? And one more male gamete will fuse with this polar nuclear was there, right? And it will form endosperm, and this endosperm, right, it will provide nutrition to the zygote. Okay, so there is two times fertilization, and this is called double fertilization. And here there is two two polar nuclei, right, and one male gamete, right? So there is fusion of three. So it is called triple fusion. Understood? Understood or not? Fusion of egg fertilization, fusion of two polar nuclei plus one male gamete, triple fusion. This two thing, right? There two-time fertilization. So it is called double fertilization. And this thing, it happens in all the flowering plants. This will form, what will it form? Zygote. From zygote, it will form seed. Okay. And this will form endosperm for nutrition. Understood what is happening here? Safia and Roshni, can you understand? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to understand, Safia? Do you have any doubt? Ask me. I'll explain again.
Yes, ma'am. Can you explain this topic again?
Which one? This thing. See, one thing is happening here is first there will be formation of male gametes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And also the female gamete, right? They both will mature. Okay. After that, what will happen? This male gamete, right? It is not what to tell? It is not motile. Okay. So there should be some mechanism to go to the female, right? Because female is also not motile. Okay. So the pollination will occur. Okay. So the agents of pollination like wind, it will carry the pollen grains, right? And it will reach the stigma. Okay. And inside the pollen grain only male gametes will be present. And there will be two male gametes. Okay. And one male gamete will fuse with one egg and it will form zygote. And one male gamete will fuse with polar nuclei and it will form endosperm. This endosperm, right, it will provide nutrition to the zygote for its growth. Okay. Now, have you understood this?
Ma'am, so there will be two types of fusion.
Yes, two types of fusion, two fusion. Okay. That's why it is called double fertilization.
Ma'am, one of them fuses with the polar nuclei and the other one?
Other one fuses with the egg. This egg. Okay.
And ma'am, why is it nuclei and not nucleus?
Because there is two. That's why nuclei. Because there is two polar nuclei. Okay. If I say nucleus, that means it is one. If I am telling nuclei, that means there is more than one. Okay. Understood here?
Yes, ma'am.
Roshni, any doubt here, Roshni? No. Okay. Rudnil?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Also that this pollination, right? There is self pollination and cross pollination. Self pollination, what is that? Two types of pollination. Self pollination, what will happen here? Transfer of pollen grain of a flower, pollen of flower from of a flower to stigma of same flower. That is our self pollination, right? In a plant, right, there are many flowers, right? So if the pollen grain, from here it is going to the sigma. This is one flower. From same flower, the pollen grain is going from the stigma, right? From anther to stigma. Then it is called self pollination. Okay. And also, if it is going, this flower, right, is it is a part of a plant, right? And that plant also contains other flower, right? So if the pollen grain is also going to the one flower to the other flower of the same plant, then it is also self pollination because the constitute are same. And if it is going, this pollen grain is going from flower of one plant to the flower of the another plant, then it is called cross pollination. Understood? Okay. Now Roshni says Roshni, Rudnil and Safia, what you guys do is you write right now you can write what is double fertilization and triple fusion. Now after this class will be over, right now and send it in WhatsApp. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, Rudnil, Roshni, understood what you're going to do now? Okay. Rudnil?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Start writing fast, okay? 5 minutes.